welcome to Sports Corner with Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier. And now here's your host, Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier.
And good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Corner Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of Sports Corner Show, along with my co-host, Smokin' Jim Frazier, by way of phone. And also, today we have a very great show for you. And yeah, what do you want to talk about? Let me talk to you. Let us talk to you today. And what do you want to talk about today? We have a whole lot to talk about today, including about the we're going to be talking about the draft here coming up, because we have here we go. All right, there we are. All right, and we have a lot to talk about today, including the draft, and I have Marcus McCullum joining me today. He covers the Chicago Bears, so I want to let everyone know that as well. He'll be joining us as well, so just to let everyone know that. And also, we have Jeremy Ballwick coming on at 4:30. He covers the Detroit Lions and now covers the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he's going to explain to you how he's moving along in his writing of his sports writing. He's part of an agency now. He'll be talking with us about that at 4:30. Then at 5 o'clock, Jeremy stays with us, and he's going to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. Comments section's wide open. Also, we have, don't forget the ticker take at the bottom. If you're interested in being a sponsor and advertiser, we have some announcements coming up later on in regards to some changes in RW Media Production shows. All right. Smokin' Jim, real quick, we're going to do our rants and our wisdom. I'll start with you, Smokin' Jim's wisdom. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. You know what? I'll admit when I'm wrong, man. I said baseball was boring, but the Pirates won 5 games in a row, and that's been anything but boring, man. I tell you what, baseball is very exciting when the Pittsburgh Pirates are playing well.
Yeah, I was wrong, too. And you know how I was wrong? I had 4 teams that didn't make it in the NCAA, all the way to the NCAA championship. I looked at Miami and Ohio. I looked at Arkansas. I looked at St. John's. And then I looked at Illinois. And I lost on all 4 of them. So I had a rough time with the NCAA tournament. And when I'm wrong, I admit I was wrong, just like Smokin' Jim said he was wrong about the Pittsburgh Pirates. All right? And the good news is the Pirates did a 3-game sweep of the Baltimore Orioles. All right. We're in Studio 10 here in Berlin, Maryland. All right. All right, let's get started here with our first guest, Marcus McCullum. Marcus, welcome to the program. Thank you for being part of the show.
Hey, what's going on, brothers? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's an honor. I love getting into this draft stuff, and it's going to be interesting. I know that you guys brought me here to talk some Chicago Bears draft options, and yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll, guys. How's everyone doing today?
We're doing good, Marcus. Thank you. Smokin' Jim, say hello to Marcus McCullum.
Hey, what's happening, Marcus?
What's going on, Smokin' Jim? How you doing, brother?
All right. Today we're going to talk about Chicago Bears, not only just the draft, Marcus. I want to ask you some other questions too in regards to the Bears, also we're going to get into a couple things with Chicago sports. The Cubs and the White Sox and everybody else as well. So
you got it, man.
All right. Pensman Sports says, hey, Ralph and Marcus. Hello, Pensman Sports. Pensman, you forgot to acknowledge Smokin' Jim, too. So there you go.
Tell Pensman I said hello, man. Always an honor to talk to that brother.
I will. So, all right. So anyway, hang on a second here. All right. Yeah, hang on. There we go. Okay, we're good. All right, Marcus, let's get started with the Bears here. What are the Bears looking at in the draft this year, Marcus? How are the Bears fixed for the draft this year? What are they looking at? Offense, defense? What are they looking at?
Well, so what the Bears are currently sitting at, they've got number 1 pick, 25, then they've got 2 picks in the second round, a third round pick, then the fourth, and then they've got 2 seventh round picks to finish it out. And where you're looking in a situation like that, you're going to have 3 picks within the top 100. And that, so now you got to ask yourself, how many players in this draft does this draft have 100 players in it that are potential starters? No, it doesn't. And that's what it breaks down. And that's where it gets murky. And that's where you have to try to draft to fit your need, but also that best player available. And the Bears have been very true to that over the years. Colston Montgomery ended up on the team. Colston Loveland ended up on the team last year, along with Luther Burden. They were not necessarily positions of need, but they were best players available, and they fit what the Bears were trying to do. The Bears obviously need a defensive end. They still need an edge rusher, in my opinion. I know a lot of people have said that the defensive tackle as well, but if you look at the money that the Bears have invested in the defensive tackle position, I'd be hard pressed to see them turn around and then go out and use a draft pick on that position. They signed Grady Jarrett last year. They signed Neville, I believe Gilmore is his name, if I'm correct. They signed him this year. Yes. They still have Dexter Javon. That's Dexter Javon Sr. or Javon Dexter Sr. I'm sorry. That's on the roster as well. So you still got guys already in the trenches, along with Dio Adingbo. When he returns back from injury, they're looking to move him probably on the inside as well. So, I mean, there's only so many defensive linemen you can have on your team, and especially defensive tackles. And it kind of seems like they already got a good rotation of tackles that they've invested money in. So I don't see the Bears necessarily going out and grabbing a defensive tackle in the draft. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't happen. Like I said, best player available. And so if one of the top defensive tackles becomes available in this draft, the Bears would be insane to pass up on him and say, oh, well, we've got all this money invested in the defensive tackle position, so we're going to let some other team draft him. No, that's not how it's going to happen. What I'm telling you is that the Bears are not going to reach. When they get ready to pick at 25, if the best defensive tackles have already been selected, the Bears are not going to be looking then to reach on a defensive tackle. And so that's why I think it's going to be edge, because edge is very deep this year. I think that you can get a lot of value in edge rushers, and also left tackle. Those are going to be the 2 positions that the Bears are going to be eyeing with that first pick with number 25.
All right, Pensman here says, let's see what he says. Middle, Maddie, what's the weakest position they have? That's what Pensman wants to know for the Bears. What's the weakest position they have here, Marcus?
The weakest position that the Bears have on the team currently is left tackle. Believe it or not, after Ozzie Tripoli got hurt last year, went down with the torn patella tendon injury, he's going to be out for a whole year. And the Bears were not expecting that. They reached out, they signed Braxton Jones, they re-signed him. I don't think that they have a lot of faith in him, but they looked at this as a good segue. They also brought in, I brought in a kid from Cleveland. I believe he failed out coming out of Alabama, didn't live up to first round potential. And they got Theo Bennett on the roster. All 3 of those players, none of them are proven. None of them are top level talent players, or at least haven't shown that ability yet. So that's the position that is the weakest on the Bears, because all around, if you look at every other position, there are at least playmakers at some point, whether it be cornerback, whether it be defensive end with Montez Sweat, whether it be safety with Kobe Bryant, wide receiver, tight end, running back. They've got most of the positions have a top level talent, but left tackle is the one position where it's like, no, there's not, there's a backup rotation guy at best right now at that position.
All right, Smokin' Jim, any questions for Marcus?
I tell you what, man, this guy can do it all, man. I enjoy listening to you, Marcus. I tell you what, the Bears had a sensational season last year. New head coach, quarterback looks great. Toughest division in all of football, no question about it. Now that the Minnesota Vikings have a quarterback in Kyler Murray, I think the Green Bay Packers, if Love will stay healthy, they'll improve. Do you think that and the Detroit Lions, who knows what's going to happen with them? But do you think the Chicago Bears take a step back, or they move forward and go to the Super Bowl next year?
I think that this is going to be a great test for the Bears, and I don't believe that they will step back because I feel like the Bears have the best quarterback in the division. And I think when you have the best quarterback in your division, that usually puts you in the most advantageous spot to succeed, a la the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. You go to the NFC East. Jalen Hurts has been the best quarterback in that division, even though some might say Dak Prescott's got to stay healthy, and he hasn't, and Jalen Hurts has won Super Bowls. And when you win Super Bowls, that puts you above a person that can't stay healthy. And so I think that the Bears have the best quarterback in that division, and when you've got the best quarterback, that it's hard for you to slide backwards. Now it's up to the Bears to make sure that defense is much better than it was last year. Yes, I said yes. Caleb Williams is better than Jared Goff. If you had to pick right now and say who you're going to start your franchise with, Caleb Williams or Jared Goff. Remember, Jared Goff was traded for Matthew Stafford. There's a reason that Matthew Stafford was traded for Jared Goff, because the Rams didn't believe him. I bet you if the Rams had Caleb Williams, I bet you the Rams wouldn't have traded for Matthew Stafford. I could promise you that.
No,
I could promise you that. I could put I don't even have $1 million, and I'd be willing to bet $1 million that if the Rams had Caleb Williams, they wouldn't trade him for Matthew Stafford. Sorry. So that's yes. So in that regards, Caleb Williams is better than Jared Goff. And so when you got the best quarterback, like I said, that puts you in the position to be the best team.
Yeah, Marcus, when you have, Caleb Williams right now is in the right position with Ben Johnson as his head coach. Ben did very well in Detroit when he was the offensive coordinator there. He had a great first season as a coach. He brought in some guys like Dennis Allen, who can coach defense. Not a good head coach, but a good defensive coordinator. Finally, I watched a couple games at the beginning of the season. The defense was undisciplined. I see Dennis Allen was able to get him disciplined, stop the penalties and the dumb, pre-snap penalties on the defense and things like that. It was great to see the Bears move on this year and do what they did under a first-year coach, Ben Johnson, and I'm very impressed with what he's done. So let's hope that the second season, there's no sophomore fluke or anything like that with him and the team. I don't think there will be. But, and Caleb Williams has done very well under Ben Johnson's system. Sometimes it takes the right coach and the right system, Marcus, in order to get the right, the right whatever out of players. You know what I mean?
You hit the nail on the head when you said that he still has the right staff around him. He brought in Dennis Allen, who did fail as a head coach and probably has no aspirations to be a head coach ever again. So he's going to stay. He's going to be there sometimes for some time as his defensive coordinator. If you go back to when the Bears had Matt Nagy had a great first season. But what a lot of people forget is that Matt Nagy had Vic Fangio as his defensive coordinator, and Vic Fangio left after that first season. The defense was never the same, and Nagy was never able to recover and get that momentum back again, and ultimately was fired. Ben Johnson has a much different situation. Majority of his staff is going to be in place for some time. Yeah, he might eventually lose Al Harris. That'll probably happen. But I don't see Antoine Randall leaving anytime
Oh,
soon. I don't see
great
Dennis
coach.
Allen leaving anytime soon. And when you've got a good structure like that around you, and the fact that Ben Johnson is the one that calls the plays, you got a now a great nucleus to build around with your players. So no matter who you bring in and around Caleb Williams, when you've got a great structure like that, you're going to have continued winning. And also just a quick little reminder of people, after the Bears won the 85 Super Bowl, they lost their defensive coordinator, and that's why that team didn't repeat again. It's
Yeah,
important to
Buddy
keep your
Bryant.
staff around you. It's important
Yeah,
to keep your staff around you.
it is, and I think Ben Johnson has done a good job with that this year, and they might they're probably going to do better this year. We'll see what Detroit does. Detroit took a step back. I said it. I called it right here on this program. And later on, we have Jeremy Ballwick coming on. He covers the Detroit Lions and the Jacksonville Jaguars, and so he's coming on later on. But I told him, I told everybody about the Detroit Lions. I said, I want to see what Dan Campbell's going to do without his star coordinators. And we saw a drop in the Detroit Lions. They got exposed. Yes, they did. Smokin' Jim always says that all the time. They got exposed. so anyway, they got exposed, and they did. And I called it because I said, what is Dan Campbell going to do without his star coordinators? And he ended up calling plays and getting out of control. And it was just a bad year for them. And Green Bay, on the other hand, in that division, Minnesota took a step back because of J.J. McCarthy laying an egg, and and whatnot. They're getting hurt again. So I mean, and now they've got somewhat of a quarterback now. And so we'll see what Green Bay does. We'll see what minute that division is going to be interesting this year. The NFC North. I think it's going to be
tough.
It is. It always is. It's like the AFC North. The AFC North is always tough with Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Baltimore, and everybody plays everybody tough in that division. And all the games are dogfights. Jay says Lions. Ralph. You called it. There it is. The curse. RW Media. No.
Oh.
There's no curse there. There's the curse of Bobby Lane, right? Smokin' Jim, tell him about Bobby Lane, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure Marcus may even know about it, but Detroit Lions won 3 world championships ending in 1958, and their superstar Hall of Fame quarterback was Bobby Lane. And the Detroit Lions traded Bobby Lane to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Bobby Lane said in 1958, the Detroit Lions will not win another championship for 50 years. 68 years later, they still haven't won it, Marcus. That's incredible, man.
Yeah, it is.
The curse is real. It's got to be exercised. It's hard out here in these streets. All right, let me tell you, winning the Super Bowl is not easy. Oh, let's see. We got a question here. Do you think the Bears need to get back to? They haven't been there since they played. What do I think the Bears need to do to get back to the Super Bowl? Yeah. I think the Bears need to get that. The defense has to get better. Defense wins championships. Defense carries you. Great quarterback play can put you over the top as opposed to mediocre play. Quarterback play, great quarterback play can put you over the top. But even Patrick Mahomes, in the years that he won, he's had excellent defense on the other side of that football. And so I think that's what the Bears have to do. They've got the quarterback now. You've got the coach. You've got the weapons on offense. You now have to have a defense that can shut a team down week in and week out to where it's very difficult for that opposing team to score 21 points. And that comes with a consistent pass rush and an excellent secondary in this modern football era. And the Bears, the one thing they do have is an excellent secondary. So now they got to get the trenches correct. And if they can do that, especially with this draft, this is going to be a big draft for the Bears. Make no mistake about this. These are the type of drafts that propel your franchise to the Super Bowl or sink you. And this is that type of draft for the Bears. And if they nail it, they will propel themselves to the Super Bowl. If not in this next season, in the following season.
All right. Jay says Bobby Lane needs to let it go. Lane. Bobby Lane needs to let that curse go. Caleb Williams can make amazing clutch plays, but still makes dumb mistakes. The Bear. Well, you know what? Caleb Williams. What's this, Marcus? His third season. This will be his third season.
This will be his third season and his first year that he's had back-to-back same coordinators since college. So probably since his freshman year in college, honestly. So I think that you will see you're going to see that quarterback jump that we always see for most quarterbacks, especially in their third year. I think you're going to see that from Caleb. I think that last year was honestly, it was a red shirt rookie season for him because the first season was so horrible. You have to remember, coaches were not even watching film with him in his rookie year. That is quarterback. That is career threatening. That is something you cannot do to a young player, is not properly coach him, especially his first year in the NFL at the hardest position on the field. And he's literally sitting there his rookie year watching film by himself, trying to understand what he's doing wrong. So, he made some dumb mistakes still last year, but that was it was still like a rookie out there. Look how he looked at the end of the year. Look how he played towards the end of the year. And I think that was the most true indication of what you're going to see moving forward into this year.
All right. Smokin' Jim, do you have any final questions for Marcus?
No, I don't. I think he covered it all, man.
Yeah, he pretty much did. Marcus, let me ask you this question here. I'm sure you're familiar with the fact that they came up again with more stupid special teams rules. Again, they keep changing the rules of special teams. They need to leave it go. You know what I mean? It's out of control. What are your thoughts on the new rules for special teams?
I think that they're trying to tweak this thing and get it right. And you know what? I'm going to watch, and I'm hoping that they do. But remember that a lot of this is all wrapped up in the fact of concussions. None of this stuff happened until the NFL started getting sued over CTE. And then once it became a real issue, then they did a study and they realized that the most violent collisions on the field happened during the kickoffs. And then that became their big problem. They're worried about being sued, and the NFL don't want to pay any more lawsuits. So therefore they keep trying to tweak this thing, and it's turned special teams into an absolute disaster. At least the kickoff, for no less. I mean, field goals are still field goals, punts are still punts, but the kickoff is nothing like it used to be. Hopefully these tweaks will make it better, but I don't see it, honestly, brother. I think that we'll never have the same again on kickoffs because of CTE. I think that the kickoff in the game will be forever changed.
Okay, here's Pensman said breaking news: Caleb Williams traded to the Steelers.
I'll tell you what. That'd be a second, a first, another second, and then maybe even a third, and then the deal would be made. Dad is 67. I can't remember his name there now. McMichaels.
Yeah, Steve McMichaels.
Steve McMichael, he was just inducted.
He was also a professional wrestler. Wrestled
yes,
with the Horsemen in the
yes,
WCW.
He did.
And he wasn't that great of a wrestler, but you know what? He was good with the microphone.
Entertaining.
Entertaining. And that's what the point is now of wrestling. And you do know, Marcus, Smokin' Jim and I do a wrestling show. We're not doing it right now until after the draft. And we're going to do a special WrestleMania post-game show Monday, April 20th at 7 o'clock. We're doing a post WrestleMania show. And then we're going to get back to, as soon as the draft is over, our regular schedule, which is 5 to 6 p.m. Wrestle Talk. Don't forget to tune into that. We'll be back with that coming up. And Jay, I thank you for all your comments as well. Pensman joining us here on the comment section. You can join in as well in the comment section. Where I'm going to go to Facebook here in a few minutes, see who we have on Facebook here that's making comments at all, if there are any at all. And we're going to do that as well. And let's see what we got here on Facebook here. Let me look here real quick. See what we have. All right. Nope, I don't see any, but there are some people tuning in on Facebook. So I just want to let everyone know that as well. All right. Okay, Marcus, thank you for being part of the program. I really appreciate you being here today. And we'll be in real quick here. I know you cover Chicago sports. What's the Cubs and the White Sox looking like this year? Go.
Ooh, average right now, which is a good thing for the White Sox, but a bad thing for the Cubs. So let's hope that changes. Let's hope the White Sox stay average, and let's hope the Cubs move into that elite status.
Yeah, let's see what Craig Counsell does again this year. You know what I mean? He was brought in as manager, and the Cubs management don't put up with that. I mean, if you're losing and they want to get the championships, they'll get you out of there. The White Sox, on the other hand, they're like the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're worse.
You can have a job for life. You can have a job for life. Yeah, just long as you're nice. Long as you're nice.
There you go. That's a good one. Marcus, thank you again. Have yourself a great one. Smokin' Jim, any final comments or anything you want to add?
No, I enjoyed you, brother.
All right.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a great one. Thank you for letting me join.
All right, Marcus, promote yourself. I know you have some podcasts and some things going on. Promote yourself. Let everybody know how they can get a hold of you and what's going on with your podcasts and whatnot. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can check me out with anytime if you want to know about Chicago news. Just go to Spotify and you can watch my replay, Truth About Chicago Sports. It also plays live on Saturday at 8 a.m. Just pull up the WRMN app and you can listen to the show. I also do national news for those who just like to listen to all sports, and that's on Prime Coverage Sports Network. Just go like and subscribe our YouTube channel, and we have an amazing lineup 7 days a week. Nothing but sports, unfiltered, no scripts, and all raw. No corporate interference.
Sometimes that's the best way to do it. You know that, Marcus?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I've done a lot of ad-libbing in my lifetime. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I know, sometimes you have a script and it just doesn't work right, or you're thrown into something, you're thrown into the fire, and you gotta be able to ad-lib and do some things, so
yeah, some shows have no choice but to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. We don't.
Yeah, I know. Well, I tell you what, though, Smokin' Jim and I were right. George Pickens had a pretty decent season with Dallas this year. And you know what? The Steelers should have never let him go. I understand he has an attitude problem. I know he was a coach's kind of nightmare. And I think that, George Pickens, the Steelers should have kept him for one more year, got what they could out of him, and let him walk. And then, but he had a good year with Dallas under Shanahan's, or not Shanahan, Schottenheimer's offense this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I always say this, Marcus, and you can repeat after me. A change of atmosphere sometimes does players and coaches some good. It really does. I mean, look at. Let's take a look at Sam Darnold down in Seattle.
Yep.
Right.
Hit the reset button.
Yeah. Once he went to Minnesota, after he had, nobody succeeds with New York Jets. It doesn't matter anyway. But Minnesota, he went to Minnesota. He did well there. He moved on to Seattle and ended up in the Super Bowl, and he's resurrected himself. And I got to tell you, that's an example right there of what I always say. And coaches the same way as well. So have yourself a great one, Marcus. Always a pleasure to talk to you. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
You too. All right. That was Marcus McCullum. It was great having him on the air here. Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on what Marcus had to say?
And Chicago is so much like Pittsburgh. It's just a bigger city. They love their football. That's why Mike Ditka was so successful as a coach. And you called it right, man. Wasn't so much that Mike Ditka could coach. It was he had a heck of a staff led by Buddy Ryan. Buddy Ryan handled half the team, the defense, and it was the best part of the team. Mike Ditka loved to run, and he had a runner with Walter Payton. And it was a great combination. That was a team that should have won more than just one Super Bowl, but the coaching staff could not get along, and yeah, it's good. It's good for somebody to talk about the Chicago Bears, the black and blue division, great division out there with the Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers, and the Detroit Lions.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, that division, as I said earlier, Smokin' Jim, is one of the tougher divisions on the opposite end of things. I mean, the AFC North is, you know, they always play each other well. You know, all the games are dogfights, and it's the same way with the NFC North with Minnesota, Green Bay, Detroit, and Chicago. They're a 4-team division, and they're always dogfights when they have those games, no matter what their records are. It's always a dogfight. And, you know, and they always try to outmatch each other and sometimes outcoach each other. And some of them, they end up losing out on everything. Smokin' Jim, we're going to talk a little bit about what the Steelers might be up to or what you think the Steelers are going to go here until Jeremy comes aboard here. We have him coming up, like I said, at 4:30. Where do the Steelers go in the draft this year, Smokin' Jim? There's some evidence of them pointing towards an offensive lineman again, defensive tackle if he's there. Wide receiver is where I think they need to load up on. What do you think?
Well, me personally, I think the draft is in Pittsburgh. The Steelers got 12 draft picks. I think that they want to make a big splash. And the only way to make a big splash is to take an offensive weapon, primarily a quarterback. There's young quarterbacks. There's probably going to be only one quarterback taken before the Steelers pick. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to roll the dice on, Ty Simpson. But if not, they're going to maybe get a high-profile wide receiver. They have to make a big splash. Nothing against the offensive and defensive line. I know you were an offensive lineman, Ralph, when you played high school football.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I played both ends of the deal, and I also played a blocking tight end. I also played that role too. So.
They only get their name called when they do something bad. So
yeah, exactly.
It's not going to excite anybody. That's how you win football games, no doubt about that. I'm just talking about what I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would do, not necessarily what you and I would do. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers take a quarterback in the first round.
All right, we'll see what happens. If I think if Ty Simpson's available and nothing else that you want is available, I think you take him. That's just my opinion. I would go with, I'm sure they have a whole list of people that they want to take. And, you got a bunch of teams in front of you, so we have to see how that works out. So, all right, let's welcome our second guest who's here today. He's going to be spending a whole hour with us from 4:30 to 5. We're going to be talking about the Detroit Lions.
How you doing there, bud?
Well, not bad. Smokin' Jeremy B. Welcome back, buddy. How are you?
Good to be here.
That's good to hear, man. That's great, man. It's great to have you back. I want you to tell everybody about your new job you're doing there or whatever, reporting for, tell everybody about that. Go ahead.
Well, I also work for Roundtable IO now, and I'm actually a paid journalist writing about the Jaguars and the Buccaneers as well.
All right, great. That's good. And then later on, we're going to hear from Jeremy at 5 o'clock, from 5 to 5:30. We're going to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, as the late Myron Cope would call them, the Jags. So,
right.
So that was what the late Myron Cope, who was rated number 4 in the NFL's top 10 all-time football announcers. In fact, he was rated better than Howard Cosell. So there you go.
Well, for me, that wouldn't take much. I didn't like Howard very much. I'd rather listen to Don Meredith, and he made less sense.
And he made less sense. Yeah, exactly. Smokin' Jeremy B. Say hello to Smokin' Jim Frazier.
Hey, Smokin' Jim. Long time no hear.
No, man. We always look forward to having you on the show, brother.
All right. And in case you haven't noticed, and I want to let everyone know, some bad news come down yesterday. myself and the Sports Nuts, our RW Media Productions, will no longer be working with the Sports Nuts Network. But I do want to today thank Brandon Keeler for giving me the opportunity to broadcast on their network. Brandon and I had a little bit of a situation, and but Brandon and I will still remain friends. And I have nothing but nice things to say about Brandon, and I want to let him know. Thank you for letting me broadcast on your network. And also, don't forget to tune into them tonight at 7:30. So I just want to let everyone know that as well. Or no, not tonight, tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. So just to let everyone know that, okay? So there you are. All right, let's get into. All right, hold on a minute. Let me see who we have. We have Pensman, and he says hello. Hi, Jeremy. Welcome back. Says
hey there, Pensman.
All right. Jeremy, let's get started here. Detroit Lions. What's Dan Campbell up to this year? What are we looking at for the draft?
Well, we addressed almost all our holes as far as depth were concerned in free agency. And the signing of Ben Barch, because he has guard experience, because that's what he came out of the draft as. He also played right tackle for the San Francisco 49ers lately. So I don't know if we go offensive line in the first round. I'm thinking we're either going to go edge or linebacker, but it only depends if two linebackers are there. One of them has to be either Averill Reese or it has to be Sonny Styles, or we're not taking him at 17.
All right. Okay. I'm sorry, Jeremy. I was reading your private message you sent me. So sorry about
I was just saying hi, Ralph, but let you know I was there.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I was checking out your private message there under that.
You're fine.
Yeah.
But I think we're going defense in the first round.
Okay. Yeah.
It's either going to be edge or linebacker. That's where I'm at on that. I think we'll end up taking an offensive tackle in the second round. Because if you look at the way the draft prospects have been falling and how some of them are considered more projects than ready to go players.
Yeah.
You're looking at somebody probably like Caden Proctor or Max Ahinakor or Drew Shelton. You're not looking at the upper guys. You're looking at the guys at the lower tier.
Or the lower mid tier, something like in that effect. Yeah, because you got upper, you got mid, you got lower. So, I mean, you can look at that perspective with that, as far as that goes. Now, let me ask you this question, Jeremy. Has Dan Campbell replaced any coordinators or anything like that? Because I know you had a rough season last year with Dan Campbell. He had to call the plays. There was some issues
because of that week 9 debacle with Minnesota, when on the sideline you saw him and Johnny Morton, his offensive coordinator in that time, get into an argument. It's almost exactly like the week before we played Pittsburgh in 2021 when Anthony Lynn got in an argument on the sideline with Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, fine. You're going to argue with me? I'm done. You're not calling plays.
Okay. Anthony Lynn's a good coordinator. I don't understand what the hell happened here. You know what I mean?
He did not want Jared Goff as his quarterback. He wanted the Lions to sign Tyrod Taylor.
I
see. Only quarterback that was good in his tenure as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Well, he was a head coach at one time too. So
right. He was the first head coach for Justin Herbert, if I remember right.
Yeah, exactly, for the Chargers, and Baum died. He didn't do well down there. So another one of them guys that needs to stick to being a coordinator. Smokin' Jim, any questions for Smokin' Jeremy B? Go ahead.
No, I don't.
Oh, no questions. Wow. How about hey, Smokin' Jeremy B, I wanted to ask you this question. Smokin' Jim says there's still a curse on the Lions from Bobby Lane. Is that still the case?
That's been lifted. There's no way that's going on when we get all the way to the championship game in the season. Because I'll tell you what, we never made it there.
There you
since Bobby Lane until that year. So that had to be the end of the curse. It's just getting over the hump now. And the hump has been injuries.
Yeah, exactly. I get that. I know exactly what you're saying. All right, here we go with Pensman. He has a question here. Jeremy, will Brian Branch do better than last year? Go
ahead. Well, considering he's only going to get to play 8 or 9 games this year, probably not, because he didn't get to play but 8 or 9 games last year. Branch was hurt because Kirby was out. So he had to do more of the playing center field than being the run edge setter that he usually is, being able to blitz and do all that. He had to back off of that and become more center field, which is not his game. So, but it looks like Kirby's going to be back before Branch is.
All right, I'm sorry, Jeremy. Jeez, I lost. Sorry about that. That's my fault. All right. Anyway, that there was this pause here for a minute. I was doing something. So, all right. Are you there, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
sorry. I think we had a little bit of a power burst or something here. I just got a new generator installed, so maybe that was it. They were still working on it out there. So
Might
I
have
don't
been the
know.
changeover or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. So there was a little burst here or something. So, but we'll get that solved as well.
I think it'll be a similar season for Brian Branch, though, because he's not going to get to come in until mid-season.
Oh, okay. All right. He's hurt, I take it. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's recovering from an Achilles tendon repair.
All right. What's Detroit looking at in free agency? Do they have enough in salary cap money, or are they just simply sitting back? What are they looking at?
We're still sitting at, let me look at that again. I got it right here. $24.5 million in cap space after making a ton of signings. I think we got 64 on the roster right now before the draft.
Okay.
The only three people that are not added in yet are the three most recent signings, which is Ben Barch, the guard, Teddy Bridgewater, our backup QB, and Chuck Clark.
Chuck Clark. Wow. Chuck Clark's a former Steeler. He was with the Steelers for a little bit, and he was with the
last season.
Yeah, and the Ravens did, and the Steelers never re-signed him.
He was drafted by the Ravens, and in his fourth year, he finally became a starter and actually was the green dot for the secondary for him.
Yeah.
And the problem with Chuck Clark's career is that he went to that Field of Knees stadium by being signed by the New York Jets, which derailed him for a season and a half.
Yeah, that I hate to say this to New York fans, but and I think some of them will agree with me. The Jets, man, your career.
The Jets or the Giants. I'm talking injury-wise. That's like the kiss of death to a career.
Oh, that's the MASH units in both of those teams. We'll see what's your thoughts on John Harbaugh, real quick, Jeremy, with New York. What do you think you think he'll do okay there, or do you think
I think he'll do better with the New York Giants because they're not hindering him. I think.
All right. Here, Pensman says,
I'll get to that. Let me finish your thought. Finish my thought on Harbaugh first, and then I'll address the Montgomery thing. John Harbaugh, I think he'll be fine in New York. He's already got a QB that's proven he can be fine. They just got to teach him how not to lower his helmet and run into defenders. And they kind of have to teach the same thing to their running back, Cam Scatterbo. Those guys need to learn how to use other body parts than their heads to run into people. That's it. You teach Jackson Dart to slide, and you teach Cam Scatterbo to use his stiff arm more. Because let's face it, that week against Philly, he stiff-armed Zadarius Smith back into retirement.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, we have Smokin Jeremy Ballwick with us, who also writes for the South Florida Tribune. He does some stuff. He's on some shows there as well. I'm going to give him a little plug, despite my facts, but I'm not going to go there any further.
I appreciate it. Pensman, as far as losing Montgomery, he at first acted like, Demo told you that when the rumor about the trade came out, and then he was traded a day later. And then we find out down the road that he actually wanted to be traded. If he was going to be traded anywhere, he wanted to be traded to the Texans because he's from that area. His family's from that area now. He's originally from Cincinnati, but his family has moved to Houston. So the fact he got to go there to where he wanted to go, the Lions did him justice. Now, let's put this into perspective. We traded him to the Texans for Juice Scruggs, a fourth-year rookie contract lineman that's only making $1.58 million.
Right.
So he was making $8 million this year.
Wow. Okay.
So, and we got a fourth-round pick and a next year's seventh-round pick.
Oh.
So it for me, I'm like going, well, look, we're going to get $5 million worth of players when you
Right.
add it up money wise. Save $5.5 million this year after the dead cap hit. And if you look at what our first couple of signings, one of them was Isaiah Pacheco, who may have had some injury concerns, but guess what? Monty had injury concerns with a bad O-line in Chicago coming to Detroit. You know, I'm not saying Pacheco's going to be the next Monty, but I'm saying he's got a chance as being a pure number 2 running back, not the main guy, being able to stay healthy and contribute to this offense. And as far as our coordinators that we replaced, we instead of just hiring one, we hired 2.
Oh, okay, great. Who?
We hired Drew Petzing
Okay.
from the Cardinals, who has been every type of position coach as well as a coordinator in his 13-year career in the NFL. And then we also picked up the offensive coordinator and interim coach as our passing game specialist and assistant offensive coordinator in Mike Kafka that left the Giants. So we have one that is a run-centric guy, and we also have one that's a pass-centric guy to get the best of both worlds.
Oh, so Dan Campbell did go out and get somewhat of a quality kind of an offensive coordinator, and he's not fighting with Anthony Lynn over, with the stuff like that. So,
right.
I mean, and that's sad that Anthony Lynn thought like, let me ask you this. Are the Lions planning at all to re-sign Teddy Bridgewater?
We just did.
Oh, you did re-sign him? Okay, great.
Yeah, we just re-signed him this year. He's our backup.
Yeah,
Kyle Allen went back to back up Josh Allen in Buffalo. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? He wasn't bad. He had a couple he played a couple downs with the Steelers. I mean,
right. But I mean, he played a couple downs. He was the guy you brought in when the game was either out of hand or you couldn't catch up. He wasn't the guy you put in there to start. Is what I was getting at.
Yeah. Well, he's backed up Josh Allen before up in Buffalo. He's been there before. So
I think I don't even know if they're related. Don't care. I just know they got the same last name.
Yeah, they have the same last name, but I don't think they're related. So, but what about Montgomery here?
I just answered that. That was what I was talking about, getting Drew Scruggs and the 2 draft picks. Good questions, Pensman. I appreciate it because it's been a tumultuous offseason to start. And then I'm going to get into this now before I get asked it. People to ask why teams ask retired players to give back part of their signing bonus if they do not realize that the NFL rule states that if they do not ask it, the player either has to become a team ambassador, in other words, a spokesperson, something like that, or all of that bonus becomes dead cap money.
Oh, get out of here. Wow. I didn't know that.
That's actually been in the CBA since 2008.
Wow.
And it's funny that the only people you hear complaining about it are ex-Lions players.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes me sick to my stomach every time I hear that question because I explain it every time it happens.
All right.
We're here. Popped in.
Yeah, Yinzer, that's my man. Oh, yeah. He always contributes to the show. Thank you, Yinzer, for being part of the program. Thank you. All right. We're here at Studio 10 in Berlin, Maryland, just outside of Ocean City, Maryland. My name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of the Sports Corner Show every single Tuesday, 4 to 5, usually 4 to 5, but we're doing special 4 to 6 o'clock to cover the draft. And we're trying to bring on somebody from every team to talk about the draft. And we're almost there. We're pretty much almost halfway or more through some of the guys we've had on here. We'll either be here on the Sports Corner Show or they will be on the Saturday Sports Show with Pensman Sports and Brian Pettit, myself, and Leo Haggerty. So it all depends on their schedules. We're going to try to get them on one or both shows here on the Sports Corner Show as well. And also, we're on YouTube. We're on both 2 of my Facebook pages, the Sports Corner, one in my personal page. And we're also on Twitch. And we're on the Kick Network. And we're simulcasted on Smokin Jeremy B's Facebook page as well. And also on his YouTube channel. So tune into all that as we go along here today. Smokin Jim, do you have anything you want to add or any questions for Jeremy about the Lions or anything?
No, sir.
All right. Smoking Jim's listening in and has no questions. So, all right. A few more questions here, Jeremy, about the Lions, and then the three of us are going to get involved in in a couple top tens here that we're going to get involved in. That we're gonna have some fun here. I like top tens. A lot of people don't, but I do. I think they're fun, and they can be debatable. I mean, because
Amen.
you get a Yahoo Sports, or you get a CBS Sports, or you get somebody. Oh, by the way, I need to do my mock draft. I always do somebody's mock draft every time. In fact, we'll do that right now. I got to do my mock draft. Almost forgot about that today. Still focusing. I about that generator. We almost didn't have a broadcast today because they had to turn my electric off again. So
I actually just posted my latest mock draft for my afternoon show for you. So I did a mock draft about the Lions today.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I'm going to checking out some mock drafts here right now. Let's get into. I think I did Yahoo USA Today. All right, let's look at NFL.com. All right, they have a mock draft here, and this is Rhett Lewis with his mock draft. All right, he has. I'll say who he has the Lions taken. Let's see here. He has the Lions. You guys pick 17, taking Monroe Freeling, offensive lineman junior from Georgia. What do you think of that?
I think that's amazing if Monroe Feeling falls to 17. And the reason why I say that is because he goes top 10 in everybody else's drafts.
Okay, here we go. He has the Pittsburgh Steelers in his mock draft, taking Oliavega
Ione.
Yeah, from Penn State, the offensive lineman. Smoking Jim, what do you think of this guy?
Very special player.
Yeah, I like the skinny I saw on him when I read up on him. I really do. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. This guy has Caton Proctor's both Smokins going to the Los Angeles Chargers, the number 22. This guy here for NFL.com. All right. This is Rhett Lewis's mock draft. So I just want to let you know. All right. So we have that going on. And every week we come up with a different mock draft. Also, we can get into some safeties in the draft as well. Safeties and corners. So let's take a look at some safeties in the draft here today. Let's see. Here's safeties. All right. For the
Give me a name. I might have a profile for you.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let me look and see what we have here. All right, first we can go over in the draft. All right, here we go. All right. Okay, NFL Draft Buzz is the one I like to use. They draft them top 12. All right, here we go. First, number 12, guys. Lewis Moore, safety from the University, I believe, of Indiana. Played in the championship game. We'll start with you, Smokin' Jim Frazier. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's about where he should be, 12th.
Okay. How about you, Smoking Jeremy B?
I agree. He's on the smaller side of safeties, which he means he probably will translate to a nickel corner in the NFL. It's not that he doesn't have the heart or can't tackle or any of that, or that he can't play. It's that with his smaller stature at 5'11" and 185, he probably won't make it as a safety.
Hey, Dizzle. Welcome, Dizzle, to the program. Dizzle's always
the Mad Yinzer.
Yep, there you go. Thank you. All right, next we have at number 11. This is NFL Draft Buzz. Let's see here. Jacoby Thomas, University of Miami of Florida. 6'1", 211, 4.55 in the 40-yard dash. Smoking Jeremy B. Go ahead.
Average speed, good ball hawking skills. He's a better tackler than he is a ball hawk. He's not going to be the guy that gets you a lot of interceptions. He's going to be more of the running cleanup guy, or somebody you can bring into the box as that Viper safety.
All right, we're going over the top 12 safeties based on the NFL Draft Buzz. Then coming up at the 5 o'clock hour, Smoking Jeremy B and Smoking Jim and I, we're going to break down the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, Jeremy B. So Jeremy Ballrick covers them for who's that group you work for again, Jeremy? I'm sorry.
Roundtable IO.
Roundtable IO. Okay, great. That's good. I'll be check out some of Jeremy's stuff there as well. And he also does a roundtable on Wednesday night at 9:30 on his YouTube channel. Check that out as well. I've been on there a few times. Lately, I haven't been because I get up early on Thursday mornings to do other broadcasting business. So
Hey, I get it.
So anyway, also, all right, Smokin' Jim, Jacoby Thomas, University of Miami. Go ahead, Smokin' Jim Frazier.
I think Smoking Jeremy B said it all. I agree with him. You know, he got the very nice height, and most of the players from Miami seem to play better in the NFL even than they do in college. So he got a chance to be a real steal.
Except Artie Burns.
Yeah.
Except Artie Burns.
we called that one.
Oh, yes, we did. All right, Bishop Fitzgerald, number 10 from the University of South Carolina. All right, the University of South Carolina. All right, here we go. Bishop Fitzgerald. I try to do the accent, but I can't really do it that well. But, so we'll go there. Smoking Jim Frazier. Go ahead.
Good player, active player. In college, I think he's only 5'11", 6 foot, right around there, man. He's not the biggest, but he gets the most out of his ability. Somebody may get a good player there.
Sometimes you get safeties or corners that are small in size, but they can tackle and they can hit. And that's not a bad thing either. So Jeremy, go ahead.
Yeah, he's not even the one I like the best on that roster. I'm just going to be honest. He's a tackler. He's more of a tackler than anything else, and I think that's what he'll be good at.
I see. Yeah, his size too. All right, number 9, Genesis Smith from Arizona. 202 pounds, 6'2", 4.50 in the 40. Jeremy, go ahead.
Genesis Smith is a good player. I like him a lot.
I like the name.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
He's an elite athlete with hybrid skills. He just really stands out well. I like the 6'5", the 210 pounds, all of that. He has a little better speed than the last one that we were talking about. And he's one of the more versatile safeties where they can move him around in the roster.
All right, coming up, we're going to go into our second hour of the Sports Corner Show special 2-hour editions all the way till the end of the draft. And then we're going to go back to our regular schedule, which is 4 to 5. The Sports Corner Show on Tuesdays, and then 5 to 6 on Tuesdays is the Wrestle Talk Show, and we'll be going back to all that regular schedule coming up in at the end of the draft there. So anyway, I just want to let everyone know that as well. So all right, we'll be right back right after this. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Sports Corner with Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier. And now here's your host, Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier.
All right, we're back for hour number 2 of the Sports Corner Show with me, Ralph Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of the Sports Corner Show and all RW Media Production shows. And yeah, what do you want to talk about? Let me talk to you. All right, so today we have a lot to talk about on our second hour. We're finishing up our top 12 safeties according to NFL Draft Buzz. And we're in hour number 2 of our show here, along with myself and Smokin' Jim Frazier by phone. Smokin' Jim, welcome back for hour number 2. How are you? I'm sorry,
Thanks, brother.
I'm
Thanks,
sorry,
brother.
Smoking Jim. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't push the button right. Sorry.
No problem. Thank you. Can't wait. Looking
right.
forward to it.
All right. We got hour number 2 coming up here. Smoking Jeremy B is back with us earlier from the 4:30 to 5 o'clock time. He was talking with us about the Detroit Lions. I always say it the Pittsburgh way, Detroit Lions. So, and a familiar face has been, is now working with the Steeler Broadcasting Network. He has been for the last few years, Charlie Batch. So I just want to let you know. Charlie Batch.
Drafted by the Lions in what was that, 98?
98, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That was interesting, so
Wasn't that the year we took the wind?
yeah. Exactly. Exactly. All right. And then Jeremy's also here. He's staying on board with us today to talk with us about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the late Myron Cope, who's up there in broadcast heaven with the rest of them. Used to call them the Jags.
Right.
But we got some interesting talk coming up about the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jeremy, because they're the Kahn family's putting a ton of money into building or fixing the stadium up or building a new facility or whatever, and they're playing in Orlando this year or something. And
they're playing in Orlando because they broke ground on the new stadium there in Jacksonville. It's actually just outside of Jacksonville.
Oh, it's going to be a new place. I thought they were going to fix it up again.
No, it's getting a brand new stadium. The voters voted in for a brand new stadium.
Whoa, get out of here. I'm shocked. I'm sorry. I'm really shocked because I didn't think
it's another 30-year contract. So the Jacksonville Jaguars will not be going to London.
London. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, they are going to London for 3 games, right?
Right. 3 games a year, just like always.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right, let's finish up this list here real quick, and then we're going over safeties that are in the draft. So we left off with Genesis Smith from Arizona. Smoking Jim, your thoughts, Genesis Smith? Go ahead.
I can't add anything more. Smoking Jeremy laid it out perfectly.
All right, next, number 8, Bud Clark, safety from TCU, 188.61. Smoking Jim Frazier. Go ahead.
I love him. He's an interception machine. I think he had 15 career interceptions, always around the ball. A little bit on the frail side, you got to pay attention to that, but he's a hitter. He's a ball hawk, very experienced player. So a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers that need ball production.
Yeah, they do.
A guy like that would fit in real nice.
Absolutely.
And the thing he has to work on when he's tackling is his pad level. He lowers his pad level too much, which has led to a lot of those injuries.
Oh, okay. So he needs to straighten that up, huh, Jeremy? So,
yes.
Yeah, I get the picture on that one. All right, next, Zaki Wheatley from
out of Penn State.
Yeah, out of Penn State. 203.63, perfect size. Jeremy, what do you think?
I think he's got great size. He's got good ball skills. His tackling, at times, he takes the wrong angle and he can be bounced off of.
It sounds like Joey Porter Jr. there for a minute because
he's exactly the same type of guy. It must be something in the Penn State defensive backs water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But he's a good player. Nothing to take away from him.
Smoking Jim thinks that Joey Porter's the best cornerback in Steeler history. There you go. Joey Porter Jr. Smoking Jim thinks he should play safety. I think he should too.
I think he would be a better safety. I think because he's either 1 year he's great in zone coverage, the next year he's great in man coverage. He's never great in both.
Yeah, I know. You have to be great in both to be great. So, all right, Kamari Ramsey, South Carolina.
USC.
206 feet. Go ahead. We'll start with you, Smoking Jim Frazier. Go ahead.
Very, very, very good player, man. So there's some good safeties here in this draft.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? It looks real
good. I thought he was University of California.
Yeah, South Carolina. Oh, wait a minute. It says, Southern Cal. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I thought it was South Carolina. I read it wrong. Sorry.
No, that's coming up. The guy I think is one of the best in the draft. That's why when you said South Carolina, I was like, no, this ain't him.
I get it mixed up, the S and the C. You know
right.
what I mean?
It does it all the time.
Yeah. There you go.
But he's a very good safety. I think he's. I don't think he's underrated or overrated. I think having him. What is he fourth there on that list?
No, he's number 6. Kamari
Six.
Ramsey. Yeah.
I still anywhere between 4 and 6 is about the right range for him. It really depends on who's listing it. I think he's one of the best safeties in this draft.
All right.
All around player, very versatile.
All right, here's my favorite. Michael Taffy from Texas, 6 feet, 190, 4.50. Your thoughts, Smokin' Jim Frazier? Go ahead.
Another very, very good one.
And I think Smokin' Jim knows why I like him. I'm just
he's more of your cerebral.
Yeah, there you go.
Your cerebral type safety.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
more of a leader on the field. He's also a defensive captain in that secondary unit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's a good player all around. All right, next. Number 4, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, 201, 6'4". Boy, is he tall. From the, believe, I can't quite tell here. My glasses and my eyesight's a little tough here. Let me look at this, what school he's from here. Hold on a minute. I got to go into some more extremes here. Oh, he's from Toledo. The Rockets always have good corners and safeties. He's from Toledo. So, Jeremy, your thoughts on this guy? Go ahead.
Very athletic. One of the guys that can jump out of the gym for his height. I mean, I think he had like a 38-inch vertical. Looked very good at the combine. Very skilled in his drills. I'm looking forward to seeing him on an NFL field.
All right. Also, Smokin' Jim Frazier. Go ahead.
I tell you what, man, the Philadelphia Eagles hit it big 2 years ago with Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo.
Toledo, yeah.
And this guy been getting similar hype. I don't think he's in the same caliber as Mitchell, but I think that he'll play a lot of years in the National Football League.
Oh yeah. All right, number 3, AJ Halsey, LSU, 215, 6 feet. Smokin' Jim Frazier. Go ahead.
Outstanding player.
All right. How about you, Jeremy?
I agree. He's one of those all-arounds, those hybrid type of safeties. You could even, with his size, you could even probably put him at a small linebacker role.
Okay, number 2, Dylan Thiemann. Now, I've seen some mock drafts where they have the Steelers taking this guy. I've already read off a couple in prior shows. Dylan Thiemann, Oregon, 6 feet, 201. Jeremy, go ahead.
Athletic specimen. Had one of the fastest 40 times out there.
I don't know if
I like this kid. I don't know if he's falling very far in the draft. I don't know if he's going in the top 10 or going in the top 20. If he goes in the top 20 and the Steelers get him, it's a great move.
Yeah, it is. It is. Go ahead, Smokin' Jim.
Well, he's my number 1 player on my board in the entire draft. If he was a black player, he'd be the first or second player off the reverse discrimination for defensive backs in the National Football League is a disgrace. This guy got a 41-inch vertical jump. He runs a 4.3 40. He's strong. 18 reps, 19 reps at 225. Anything you need. He's a tackling machine everywhere he's been to a few different colleges, Purdue and Oregon. He's always been a tackling machine. First team, All-American at Oregon, third team All-American at Purdue. It's just, I mean, what more are you looking for in your safety? He reminds me a little bit of Adam
Pac-Man Jones.
No, the kid that played for the Rams. Even the kid that died in the war, he reminds me of him a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
From Arizona.
Tillman.
Yeah. Those type guys, man. You want them on your football team. They're going to make plays. They're leaders, and the Steelers haven't really had a safety they can hang their hat on since Troy Polamalu retired.
I know. They haven't. You are correct on that one. Smoking, Jeremy, go ahead.
Great guy, full around athlete, and I completely agree with Smokin' Jim Frazier. If he was of any other persuasion than Caucasian, he would probably go in the top 10.
Hey, Jeremy, I had to fight for Cooper DeJean. Remember Ralph?
Exactly like that. I said the same thing.
He said the same thing.
Wasn't I one of the ones saying the same thing about that, Ralph, when you heard me?
Yeah, you both said the same thing. You both did. Okay, let's go to our comments section here. We have Outlaw Sports Network. Brian Pettit says hello to everybody here. Hello, Jeremy, from Brian Pettit. And,
hey, Brian, good to see you, brother.
Yeah, there you go. All right. And he's on the air there as well. And I want to go into the reason I'm going to post this up here. Here we go. The new Outlaw Sports Network, formerly also known as Tiger Stripes Media. Brian Pettit, don't forget to tune into him as well. And also Pensman Sports. Don't forget to tune into his channel. He has New York Yankees. He does a lot of live streams. So does Brian Pettit in the Outlaw Sport. He does racing and a bunch of other live streams as well. And also, I want to talk a little bit about our new show, the UFL Weekly. We were not on this Sunday due to Easter, but UFL Weekly, Smokin' Jim, Jeremy, you guys are always welcome as well if you want. UFL Weekly every Sunday night, 8 o'clock with me, Ralph Williams, Pensman Sports, and Brian Pettit. We talk about the UFL games. We break the games down and also talk about what's happening in the UFL. So want to let everyone know that former Steeler offensive coordinator Todd Haley is the offensive coordinator for Columbus. I want to let everyone know that as well. All right, number one in safeties in the draft by the NFL Draft Buzz is Khalid Downs, Ohio State, 206, 6 feet. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Caleb Downs is going to be a great guy. He is going to be the top 10 safety. He's going to be the one that goes in the top 10. And he comes from overrated State University. What can I say? I hate OSU in
the past. I got to give you that one there, Jeremy. I'm interested to see if Ryan Day holds on to his job this year because he's got Arthur Smith as his offensive coordinator.
Does he still got Matt Patricia as his defensive coordinator too?
Still there. Yeah, Matt Patricia. But Jeremy calls him Patricia because of when he was a head coach at Detroit. Oh my gosh, that was
he earned it.
Mess. Yeah, he earned it. You're definitely right. But see, here's the difference between me and someone else, Jeremy. I'll let you say that on this program and think nothing of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So, someone else I
know.
Talk about Matt Patricia, Yeah. So, all right. Okay, let's get started with our Jackson.
Well, let me make a comment. Let me make a comment on Downs. Jeremy, are you surprised that Sonny Styles' brother didn't make it in the top 12?
No, because he was awful in coverage.
Wow.
He was the Trayvon Diggs of safeties. He could run fast, but if you overran him, it's over. But anyways, the guy I'm surprised that's not in the top 12, and I really thought he'd be there, and it wasn't even mentioned, is Jalen Kilgore of South Carolina. I think he was the best safety on that team. Yeah, he was the one that did all the interceptions. He was the one making all the big hits. He's like Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph rolled into one.
They don't even have him from 13 to 24 either on this draft, Buzz. They don't even have him on up to there either. So,
do you agree with me there, Smokin' Jim Frazier?
Definitely agree there.
Here they got Lorenzo Styles. He's rated number 31 by the NFL draft.
That tells you something. 31.
Yeah, 31. So
I think there was only 42 safeties in the draft, and he's 31.
He's 31. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I had to show you that because that's how far he is fallen. I mean,
Brian Pettit agrees with me. I think he's probably the third best.
Oh yeah.
I think that's where Jalen Kilgore belongs.
Well, he'll probably go in the late round. Somebody's desperate for a safety or something, or that
I
kind of thing.
Jalen Kilgore will go in the third round
Yeah.
at the latest. I think he's considered the 94th best prospect overall, and I think he falls in the top 12 of safeties because he actually goes before Bud Clark, Taft,
Right.
Deshaun Singleton, and a few others that are ranked pretty well.
Pretty well there, yeah. All right, let's get into the Jacksonville Jags, Jags, as we used to say. Smokin Jeremy B gave us some breaking news here. Jacksonville approved, and they're going to build a new stadium. The Kahn family and the city were able to work something out, I guess. And here we are. Jacksonville's going to get a new stadium this year. They're going to play in Orlando. Are they going to play at the same place that the Orlando UFL team plays?
Yes,
that's my question.
But they believe that's the exact stadium they're going to be playing in.
All right. Yeah, I don't know much about Orlando. I almost went there last year. But the hurricane, or 2 years ago, but the hurricane season got in the way. So
that happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wasn't going. I wasn't dealing with that.
I every time I deal with winter, I got to tell myself, no hurricanes, no gators.
Hey, Jeremy, I wanted to let you know I have some swampland for sale in Florida with alligators in it. And
you can keep it.
No, really, you don't want it? I
No.
was going to sell it to you real cheap,
No. That's like trying to sell me an orange farm with banana spiders in it. Nope, don't want it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Jacksonville Jaguars. Where do they go in the draft this year, Jeremy? I mean,
considering they don't have a first round pick because of that trade up to get Travis Hunter last year.
Right.
I think in the second round, you're going to see them draft the replacement for Travis Etienne. And the guy that I think it's going to be, it's one of two players. It's either going to be Le'Veon Moss, the one out of Texas A&M, or it's going to be the kid out of Arkansas that blew up the combine running that 4.3, 340, Mike Washington Jr. His only thing is in college, a lot like Jonathan Taylor, he was a little bit on the fumble-prone side, but that can be taught, as we saw with Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He hasn't been fumbling hardly at all with the Colts.
Right. Well, you know something, anybody that comes out of those two schools at running back are tough. Texas A&M with Mike Elko, he likes to run the football, so he's got tough guys there. And then Arkansas always has tough running backs, always. But, they had Bobby Petrino coaching their team this past season, and he went on to be the offensive coordinator with Bill Belichick in North Carolina. So much for retiring him and Frank Reich, Frank Reich also said he was going to retire, and he moved on to something else.
Yeah.
So, But anyway, Smokin Jim Frazier, got any questions about the Jags?
Well, I tell you what, man, me and Smokin Jeremy agree a lot, man. I watched Washington at the Senior Bowl, and he was won the outstanding practice award, and that's big for me because when you work hard in practice, it translates to the game. I think he was a late bloomer. This guy really came on last year for Arkansas, only played one season there. And I tell you what he did at the Combine was second to none. He ripped it up athletically, he got the size that you look for. I think he can be a 3-down back. And they had their problems at Arkansas last year, but he still was able to shine, man. And I think that whoever gets him is getting a home run hitter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I believe that to be the case as well. All right, Jeremy, let's ask. I have this question for you. Sophomore jinx, sophomore blues. Do you think Liam Cohen has that this year, or do you think his team will still be competitive? Go ahead.
Well, I think it will be competitive. He's a different style of coach than what they've had there before. He's more on that. He's a disciplinarian, but yet a player's coach at the same time. He has that fire that he lights everybody up with. He's building a good thing. The worst thing they did was let Devin Lloyd go. They're going to have to fill that. And with that extra second round pick that they have from that trade, that's probably what they do with the other one, is either go Anthony Hill or end up going Jacob Rodriguez. I think that's where they go with that linebacker pick. I don't know which one they get first. I'm not that much of a mind reader, But if it was me, I would probably go the linebacker first because you could probably get Mike Washington at the back end of that where you pick in the draft.
All right. Also, I want to go ahead, Smokin' Jimmy. Have any questions for Jeremy about the Jags?
No, go ahead, bro.
All right. What are we looking at coaching wise this year? Did they lose any coaches, or they
did not lose anybody. They have a very continuity with their coaching staff. It's kind of like we just lost the coordinator we didn't want. You know what I mean? With the Lions, we only lost him. So with getting the two guys we got to replace the one, that takes that play calling duty away from Campbell with the Lions. But they don't. They have the same play calling now. And Liam Cohen is more of an offensive guy, so he has his veteran defensive coach, and he's saying, "Hey, you take care of the defense. I got the offense."
Well, yeah, there you go. That's the way to do it. I mean, when you're a new head coach, Jeremy, and I think you'll agree with me on this, and I've said this 1,000 times, if you don't have the right coordinators to help you out, some guys with some experience, bring in some guys, that know the game, to help you out with that. And if you're the head coach, you got to be the head coach. You can't be the coordinator. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't work that way. All right.
Right. And that's what happened last year with the Lions. If you look at it right there at that week 10 point, the defense fell apart for 5 weeks straight.
Wow. Yeah, I know. That was crazy. That was nuts last year. So
and I think that had to do with our head coach, who had been able to be the field general ever since the first year. Only focused on running the team. Now he had to focus on running the offense. He couldn't help our new defensive coordinator.
Right. And he also couldn't concentrate on the game itself and made some boneheaded decisions. You know what I mean?
Everybody could say that, but he makes those same boneheaded decisions every year. I'm throwing that out the window.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mr. Go for it on fourth down.
Fourth down is third down part 2. Get it right.
Exactly. There you go. That's it. Okay, you cover Tampa Bay too. I've already had Leo Haggerty on here to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but we'll get your perspective. What are they looking at in the draft this year, the Buccaneers?
They got to be looking towards wide receiver, somebody like Jacoby Lane or Mekhi Lemon out of USC. There's a couple of other ones, but where they're picking, those two are probably their best option. Because if they can't get Mekhi Lemon in the first, then they have to go the best offensive lineman and take Jacoby Lane in the second.
Okay. Also, real quick here, and then we'll get to Smoke and Jim about Tampa Bay. What's going on? And I got the perspective from Leo Haggerty from Amped Up Sports. I'm going to get your perspective. What do you think they do with Kalijah Cansey and on the line there? He was the number 1 pick from Pitt. Hasn't done anything. He's been hurt. He's kind of stunk up the joint a little bit. They're hurting on the defensive line. Do you think they go that direction in the draft too? Or what do you think?
I think that has to be one of their first 3-round picks. It has to be. They're going to have to address the edge because Kalijah Cansey proven he can't be a good defensive tackle. And when they move him to the outside, he can't stay healthy. Yeah. So, exactly. You can't be one or the other, not be good at one and not stay healthy at the other, because when he's on the field, he's great at defensive end.
Yeah, I think that was Todd Bowles is one of his bad first round draft picks, I think. You know what I mean?
He's not a general manager, but he had some weight in it. And I think it's just as much his fault as it is the GM's.
Yeah, how about Savassier Dennis? I always follow all the Pitt players around the NFL. I hear he's progressed through the years, and he's done some things on special teams. And when they needed him, he was there. That's what I got from Peter Blake, and I got from Leo Haggerty. What are your thoughts on Savassier Dennis?
Savassier Dennis is one of those guys that you have to have on every roster. He's not going to make your starting room, but he's not going to hurt you because he's able to play in special teams. He's able to be in rotation, and he's kind of like that guy the Lions brought back that I talked about all the time. Trevor Nowoski, the kid out of SVSU. He's not the most athletic guy. He's not the worst, but you know what? He's a guy when he's on the field, he makes something happen. That's what Savassier Dennis is.
I mean, he's there. He makes the play. Exactly. That's Savassier Dennis. Yeah, I watched him at Pitt. All right, Smokin' Jim Frazier. Any questions about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
No, sir.
All right. Hey, Jeremy, did you hear the latest? I got the real reason why Tony Dungy and John Gruden left Tampa Bay. You know why? Because at the time, Corn was a Buccaneer. At that time. I mean, corn's probably $5 an ear now, with food prices and all that stuff.
Yeah. Gotcha. Oh, that's good. Oh, boy.
Corn was a Buccaneer. And
I got a funny story about Tony Dungy that isn't funny.
Yeah, I know. It's sad to hear what happened to him at NBC there.
It's worse than that. He goes way back before that. When he first left Tampa Bay, remember, he was a free agent coach for about 2 months.
I remember that, yes.
Do you know what team he approached and said he wanted to coach?
The Steelers. No,
the Lions. And WCF told him no.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
That was right after
he left Tampa Bay.
Right after he left Tampa Bay, and Cocaine Wayne had just retired.
Cocaine Wayne, that's a good one, man. I like that one.
Anyways,
he
contacted us, and they said no. And Bill Polian of the Colts said, "Yeah, we'll take you."
Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, he did good at the Colts. He was a good coach here. Went to the Super Bowl. I can't complain about that.
Can you imagine if we'd have had him instead of Marty Morningwig?
Oh, you guys have had some bad coaches.
Mariucci? Rod Marinelli?
Oh,
that's all during the tenure he was with the Colts.
You guys up there in Detroit didn't know how to hire, man. Jeez, you guys had.
That's because we hired that idiot Matt Millen as a GM, who would have been a much better coach than a GM.
Yeah, but you know what though, I have his personal phone number, and I'm getting ready to give him a call to come on the show here.
Matt Millen is a great guy, and I think he'd have made a great coach.
Analyst. Yeah.
But I remember being a fan watching the last week of the NFL when we lost that game, and he's sitting in the booth, and he gets the phone call. He goes, "Oh, guys, I'm the new GM of the Lions. I don't know how to do the job, but I got it."
Yeah, exactly. He was.
Does that not make you feel like, oh my God, we're screwed before he even starts?
Oh yeah, I know. Jeremy, how long can you stay? You want to stay through the whole show, or you?
Sure, why not? Let's talk football.
Yeah,
what's your next top 10?
All right, my next top 10 is we're going to go into Smokin. Jim, you don't have anything you want to add or anything before we move on? Are you there, Smokin, Jim?
Yeah. What happened to Tony Dungy? You got fired from NBC?
Yeah, NBC got fired from, and guess who's rumored to take his job? Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin.
Wow.
Mike Tomlin. He already went out and got I have a radio agent. He went out and got a TV agent to help him. And I'm hearing that Mike Tomlin may get that job. So we'll see.
Wow.
Smokin' Jim, you told me Mike Tomlin never lied to you. He did this time if he takes that job.
Yeah, if he takes the job.
He said he'll never be in broadcasting. He said he not only told you that, he told some other media people in Pittsburgh that story.
Wow.
One of the key he told them that story too. Same thing. I heard it. I mean, it came right out of his mouth.
That's what he gets for lying.
Yeah, exactly. I did, Jeremy. I'm going to say this, and I'm sorry I haven't been on your round table lately. I never expected him to step down this year. I thought he was going to get his 20 next year, and then I believe me, I didn't. And I came up with this thing that if the Steelers, and I said the Steelers, but I was right about one thing. I said the Steelers will never go to another Super Bowl with Mike Tomlin, and if they do, I will do all my shows naked. So you know what? And guess what?
Thank God you have to stay close.
That's right. That's right. Smokin' Jim was here on this program when I announced that. So, I mean, he knows. So, I mean, all right, top 10 safeties of all time, since we're talking about safeties. How about we get into this here? Now, this is by hold on a minute. Let me see who this is. Oh, this is by Major League Football on X. Okay. On the X page. Number 10, Paul Krause, Washington Commanders. Start with you, Jeremy. Go ahead.
I think that's very underrated. You're talking about a guy that still holds the career leader NFL-wise record holder as interceptions leader. 83 or 81 interceptions in his career. Nobody's even came close. Paul Krause actually is from where I live right now, Burton, Michigan. He graduated from Bendel High School right around the corner from me. Great guy.
All right. Let's go into the next one. Smoking Jim, go ahead. Paul
Well,
Krause.
Paul Krause, he was a Minnesota Vikings guy.
No, it says here Washington Commanders.
Well, they're wrong. He made the Hall of Fame with the Minnesota Vikings,
Okay.
but
I'm just going
great.
by what I see here.
Jeremy said, number 22. I loved him. Very underrated. I think it took him a while to get into the Hall of Fame, which surprised me at the time. I mean, what more can you do than being the top interceptor in NFL history and at a free safety? And the NFL won't vote you in for a long time into the Hall of Fame. But, 10, he should be definitely higher than number 10.
Say hello to Miss Penny.
Oh, hey. How you doing there, Miss Penny? Hey, guess what? If I could get my dog to come in here, his name is Bailey. Oh, there we go. We could play matchup. Almost the same kind of dog. I got a Yorkshire Terrier. Oh, my. Wow.
Yeah, she's a little cockapoo.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Next, number 9, Sean Taylor.
Definitely belongs on that top 10 list.
All right. How about you, Smoking Jim? Sean Taylor.
Well, one thing, a great football player, college and the pros, didn't play long because he got murdered. But, Sean Taylor was something. He didn't even give you a break in the Pro Bowl. If you had equipment on, Sean Taylor was going to hit you. He was fast, big, 6'3". Could have been a great running back as well. Was All-American high school running back. But, I'm a little surprised he made the list.
All right, number 8, Rodney Harrison, New England Patriots. We'll start with you, Smoking Jim.
Another guy that's never going to get into the Hall of Fame, which is a shame. Rodney Harrison he's a Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. He put the San Diego Chargers on his back. Played the game like you can't play it today. So I think he failed a drug test one time, and they're holding that against him, I think, in terms of the Hall of Fame. But, he's definitely I would have him in my top 10.
Jeremy, go ahead.
I might have had him at 11. There's some guys that from the old days that nobody's even considering right now.
All right, number 7, Earl Thomas III. Jeremy, go ahead.
He was a part of the Legion of Boom, wasn't he?
The Ravens.
From Seattle? Oh, yeah, he was the Rams?
Yeah, it says the Ravens here, but I guess he was with Seattle too. So,
Let's see.
He was part of that Legion of Boom.
The Legion of Boom.
Yeah, he was opposite Cam Chancellor. Cam Chancellor. Right. Yeah. He was one of those good but not great guys. Everybody remembers Cam Chancellor. They forget that Earl Thomas III was on that team.
Yeah, exactly.
So, he's a Super Bowl champion with them. He's a Super Bowl champion in one other place. But you know what? He never really stood out. I don't know how he made this top 10 list.
There you go. Smoking Jim, go ahead.
I agree with Smoking Jeremy. He was good, but he's not top 10.
All right, number 6, Harrison Smith. Start with you, Smoking Jim.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's in the top 10. I love him. Great player, Minnesota Vikings. I think he got maybe one more year left until retirement, but kind of flew under the radar a lot in his career because of who he played for. But great player. But I'm shocked he's top 10.
All right, how about you, Jeremy?
I'm shocked he made the list considering how he just retired a month ago.
Wow.
Okay, he did retire. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
All right, number 5, and I think this is underrated here. This guy should be up in the top 3 or top 1 or 2. You ready? Here we go. Troy Polamalu, Pittsburgh Steelers. Jeremy.
Top 5 all day.
What's that?
He top 5 all day. There's guys that I think are way better than him, but he is a top 5 safety all time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but I agree, but I think he should be higher than this, higher than number 5. Go ahead, Smokin' Jim. Go ahead. Troy Polamalu.
Where they got him, number 5?
Yeah, number 5. Is that a crime
Yeah.
or what?
No. I'd have had him around 7 or 8. Troy didn't intercept a lot of passes. What he did everything well. He was a little undersized, did his own thing. Great player, but I think sometimes strong safeties get a little bit overlooked because free safeties get more interceptions. I think Troy only had like 30, 31 interceptions, somewhere around there. But he definitely top 10, but I wouldn't have him in the top 5, no.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's go into next, and then Smokin' Jim, we'll start with you. Steve Atwater, Denver. Go ahead.
Got to. I mean, what he did to Christian Okoye.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. That was the end of the world, man. No one ever saw that coming. Oh, my gosh.
I don't think we saw Christian Okoye again.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You didn't see him again. That's exactly it. Oh my God, he got his clock.
The Nigerian nightmare went to sleep, and you never saw him again.
Never saw him again. That's right. That's exactly it. All right. Next, go ahead, Jeremy. Steve Atwater. Go ahead.
One of the heaviest hitters of the late 70s, early 80s in that vaunted Broncos defense. Love Steve Atwater.
All right. How about number 3? And we'll start with you, Jeremy. Brian Dawkins.
Brian Dawkins, Weapon X. What can you say about this guy? He was a combination of Steve Atwater, John Lynch,
okay,
and yet had ball hawking skills. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he hit like those two, but he could pick one off and take it to the house. That's why he's Weapon X. He was that, and he also was really good at forcing fumbles.
All right, how about you, Smokin' Jim?
Top 10, not top 3.
All right. Well, yeah, I agree with you too, with the both of you on that one. Number 2. Here we go. He deserves to be here. Ronnie Lott, San Francisco 49ers. Smokin' Jim.
Yeah, I mean, he could have made it a cornerback. He could have made it a safety.
Oh, what a player, man.
And a lot of people don't know he was recruited to play running back at USC.
Oh,
but the backfield was so deep, he played defensive. Man cut off a finger to continue to play. I mean, they just don't make them like Ronnie Lott anymore. So, yeah, and you're talking about ending the career. He ended Ickey Woods' career in the Super Bowl. Ickey Woods was never the same.
He never shuffled again.
Hit on him. Never shuffled again, man.
Oh, all right. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah.
I agree. Ronnie Lott, 63 interceptions. I think he had 28 forced fumbles in his career. What a great player.
All right, Jeremy. Thanks for bailing me out on that one. I got a text about something somebody wants me to talk about on my show tomorrow night. So,
that's okay.
Yeah, on my Ralph's Opinion show tomorrow night about Iran. So,
I ran too, and then I got old.
Hey, you know what? You know what? You could play the Flock of Seagulls. I ran.
And I ran so far away.
Yeah, there are morning disc jockeys playing that song.
I know.
All right, next number 1. You guys ready for number 1? Here we go. Who's ready?
I'm guessing it's a former Baltimore Raven.
You guessed it, Jeremy.
Ed Reed.
Oh, you got it, Ed Reed.
64 interceptions. He's the only other one that has more than 60 interceptions than Ronnie Lott and Paul Krause.
Oh my!
And what on the top it all off, as great as he was as a tackler, as a hitter, a fumbler, an interceptor, he could also return punts. That guy was great. You say what you want, even though he played for your enemy. Ed Reed was the epitome of the center field safety position.
Okay, we're not going to do a top 10 here, but I have a list of the founding years of every NFL team. All right, so we're going to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jeremy, what year do you think they?
Well, wait a minute. Let me get in on this.
Oh yeah,
let me
sorry,
get in on this.
Smokin' Jim, get in on Ed Reed. I'm sorry, I'm hurrying things up. I'm sorry.
First of all, Smokin' Jeremy said it perfectly about Ed Reed. I mean, what a great career. But I don't know how Rod Woodson can't make that list.
Yeah, I know.
Rod Woodson played over half his career at safety.
Jack Tatum.
Jack Tatum's another one. Jack Tatum's the best I ever seen.
Yes.
Most intimidating. And the best, and don't forget, the leading interceptor for strong safeties in NFL history is Donnie Shell, and he's a four-time Super Bowl champion. And nobody, and he almost had to wait till he died before they put him in a Hall of Fame. So I mean, he's just
and let's not forget, there's one more that had 79 interceptions that Paul Krause had to break his record, and we're talking about the first safety to make the Hall of Fame, Emlyn Tunnel.
Yeah,
Emlyn Tunnel.
New York Giants.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So, don't tell me I don't know my sports history.
I didn't say that at all, man.
But I would have put all three of those guys I just named, and the ones he named, I'd have put them ahead of Sean Taylor. I'd have put him ahead of Rodney Harrison. I'd have put him ahead of a couple of those other young guys. I would even put him ahead of Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith just retired. He hasn't earned the accolades to be on a top 10 all-time list yet.
Okay, guys. We're going to get into something else here, a little bit of some more fun here before we go.
Okay.
Every NFL team's founding year, but we're going to start with the teams that you cover, Jeremy. First, we'll go first we'll say the Pittsburgh Steelers. What year do you think the Steelers started?
Is that 1924?
No.
Was it
1933?
1933.
Okay.
And I don't know if you noticed or not, Jeremy, but at one time, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Steelers didn't have the money to field separate teams. They had to field one combined team, and they called them the Steagles. So a lot of people don't know that one. They called them the Steagles. So,
Wow. Didn't know that one, no.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's go into
Detroit. They combined Smokin' Jeremy during the war.
Yeah, during the war.
During the war they combined.
Detroit was Detroit. They were established in 1930 as the Portsmouth Spartans. They moved to Detroit in 1934.
Yeah, and we know when the Jacksonville Jaguars came in. They came in around, I believe, 1996, if I'm not mistaken.
Just like the Panthers.
Yeah, just like the Panthers, too. Yeah.
Hey, Ralph, one thing we do know is when the curse hit Detroit.
1957. We all know that. But, hey, I got one that's more cursed than that. This team still don't have a Super Bowl or a World Championship. And they are established in 1896. Do you know who that was?
Oh,
no.
Hold on, man.
The Cardinals. They started out as the Chicago Cardinals in 1896.
The Cardinals still haven't won. Well, they went to the Super Bowl under Ken Wisenhunt.
But they didn't win it. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, at least they went there. I mean, at least they can say
wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, but no world championships. No world championships. As a matter of fact, Chicago's first world championship was the year they became the Bears.
Wow.
Wow.
What do you think the Cardinals do this year, Jeremy, with Mike LaFleur? Do you think they'll be better this year? Or do you think
I think it's going to be a rebuild year because it looks like they're going to roll with Jacoby Brissett. They just got rid of the Keebler Alph, as we call him, Kyler Murray. He's fighting at knee level with JJ McCarthy. I don't think that's much of a fight because at knee level he can make it out.
You know what? Kevin O'Connell might be on eggshells this year, and Brian Flores might end up being the new head coach if this sinks, if this don't work. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because the J.J. McCarthy thing didn't work out for him. And I don't think I'm just wondering if Minnesota's management is going to put up with another losing season because of a miscue. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then because of the last team that I covered that we didn't get asked about when they started, it was 1976. And the reason why I know this about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is because they were the first winless team that year. And they actually went 0-26 where they won a game.
Sean McKay was the coach there, man. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, in 1979, they went to the playoffs against the LA Rams to go to the Super Bowl to play the Steelers. I was rooting for Tampa Bay. I wanted them.
Hey, didn't they pass on Tony Dorsett?
Yeah,
in the draft to take Ricky Bell.
Yeah. Ricky Bell. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't that old, but I do remember when they started. I mean, John McKay was. Oh my gosh, that team. Jeez.
And here's another one that we didn't even mention that was a part of the first 2 Super Bowls. He was a part of the 60s Packers dynasty. Willie Wood.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that list is a little skewed. That's somebody's opinion list, and I don't disagree with it, but I don't agree with it either.
I mentioned that top 10 safeties as to who it was and and all that, because that's their opinion. But, they didn't do their homework enough to put Jack Tatum in there, and Donnie Shell and some other people in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
On that list, that top 10. That was from Major League Football's X page, Twitter X.
Right. In other words, a beat writer that's not good enough to put his name out there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man.
I love it when they put the name of their page, but they won't put their name on it.
Oh man, so.
Yeah, I know. I'm mean like that.
There you go. All right, we did that today we did a lot today, but it's been a great show today. Jeremy, you're welcome anytime back on this program. Anytime. You're welcome here.
Hey, I appreciate it. I love talking football. As you can see, I know more than just my Lions now.
Well, I do have a question for you. What's the Tigers looking like this year? Detroit Tigers.
Right now, it's the beginning of the season. It's that up and down part of the year, and we do this every season. We started out this way last year. Remember, we lost our first 3 to Dodgers right out of the gate. This year, we won our first series, then lost 3 to Arizona, who was a good team that was struggling at the time. They just got going at the right time. We just won this last series 2-1 versus the Cardinals, and we dropped our first one versus the Twins. And we play the second game tonight. I hope we kick their butts because they suck.
Well, the Minnesota Twins is my interested team, and the reason why is because former Pirate manager Derek Sheldon is their new head, is their manager. And what I want to know is, and this is my curiosity. And if you listen to the song from the Little River Band called "Curiosity Killed the Cat," okay. My curiosity is, was he a bad enough manager with the Pirates, or did the Pirates not give him what he needed to be a good manager? Now he's with the Twins. Let's see what he does there. Okay, that's my curiosity here. All right, let's see what he does there. And Jeremy, I'm sure you're familiar. Our manager with the Pirates now is Don Kelly. So I'm sure you're familiar with Don Kelly. So, I mean,
Yeah, Don Kelly. I love Don Kelly as the best positionless player that the Tigers ever had.
Positionless player.
He played all 10 positions for Detroit.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Wow.
He that long game that we had his last year playing for us, the 17-inning game, he closed it out for us. He actually had a save.
Okay, I got you.
Of course, he was floating in pitches at 53 miles an hour that no one could hit.
Oh, you know it. All right, we got some announcements to make here, so let's get into our announcements. Here we go. All right, everybody, you guys ready? Here we go. April, starting Monday, April 13th, 2 p.m. on 620 a.m. WKHB in Pittsburgh. Drive time, afternoon in Pittsburgh. You know it. I'm coming to get you. I told all you radio people out there that I'm coming to get you, and now I'm here. And I'm going to be getting into the drive time ratings. And guess what? starting Monday, April 13th, 2 o'clock p.m., 620 WKHB, 94.1 on the FM dial, the Ralph Williams Show. And then Friday at 3 o'clock, the weekday edition of the Sports Corner Radio Show. Friday, 3 o'clock, starting Friday, April 17th. Ralph Williams, Smokin, Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree, and we're going to take away some of the big boys' ratings here with some of these shows. RW Media Productions expands, and it's finally, I got my justice in Pittsburgh to be on weekdays, and here we are as well. 620 WKHB AM. Don't forget to tune in. Smokin' Jim will tell you, and I'll tell you, great signal. And I got to tell you, it's going to be great being on weekdays in Pittsburgh on the drive time slot, and I love every minute of it. All right. Also, don't forget Saturday morning as the weekend of Ralph starts, and it starts Saturday morning on 93.5 The Beach in the Delmarva area down here. First show went off real well. Got big feedback from it. Sponsors are starting to line up a little bit. We got some negotiations with some. Very, very pleased with the broadcast. 93.5 The Beach down in the Delmarva area at the Ralph Williams Show, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Tune in, 50,000 watts of power. And don't forget to tune into that. And then, I'm not done yet. Ralph Williams Show once again, but this time it's in Pittsburgh. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 1250 a.m. The Answer. Here we are. All right, that's the Ralph Williams Show. And also, the Ralph Williams Show is on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with my co-host. He's back, Tony Moreno, former Pittsburgh mayoral candidate on the Republican side and former Pittsburgh police detective. And also former, I want to say this, former, and I want to thank him for his service, MP in the Iraq War. So I just want to let everyone know that one as well. So there you go. All right. Ralph Williams Show every single Wednesday, 3 to 4 p.m. on 860 a.m. WWDB in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Lots of brotherly love. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, 3 to 4 p.m. Lots to talk about. I'm working on getting State Senator Doug Mastriano on my shows because he's going to talk about, you ready for this now? He's going to talk about getting rid of the gas tax in the state of Pennsylvania.
Oh, that'd be nice. I wish our governor was that smart.
These politicians are starting to understand in Pennsylvania, and that's why, Jeremy, the nickname in Pennsylvania is Taxylvania, because they tax just about everything. All right.
Oh, so, right here in.
Yeah, exactly. So they tax just about everything. So, I mean.
Right here in Michigan, I call our Governor Whitmer Governor Witless, and I've told you many reasons why. This lady that snowballed all the voters and saying, hey, we're going to get rid of the state sales tax on gas. But guess what she did? She raised the state road tax on gas. So she gets rid of the 6.9 or the 5.9% sales tax, right?
Right.
She raises the road tax 58.9%.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Man. She saves us 6 cents, but cost us 52.
Oh, my. That's crazy.
And then everybody started griping 30 days after that went into effect how gas went up by $1. I said, it's the taxes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. That's ridiculous. All right, let me see here what we got here. Here it is. All right, every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m., the 1250 a.m., The Answer 92.5 on the FM dial, the weekend edition, the Saturday edition, because we're now going to be on starting April 17th. We're going to be on Friday and Saturday in Pittsburgh. Every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m., 1250 a.m., The Answer 92.5 on the FM dial. Ralph Williams, Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree.
Yes, good show. But let me rephrase that, because the original tax was 41.9, which is fine because that's about the average across the United States. But to raise it like she did and then try to say, oh, I'm lowering the sales tax to save you money because I care about the little guy, is a slap in the face.
All right, don't forget, I didn't forget about this, but Saturday I was looking for the banner here because I had to switch things around here a little bit. And here it is, Saturday morning, 10 a.m., the Saturday Sports Show with me, Ralph Williams, Leo Haggerty, Pensman Sports, Brian Pettit, every single Saturday morning, 10 a.m., right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and the Twitter X platforms as well.
Awesome.
And another awesome show. We're going to try to have try to get a guy, somebody on that covers one of the NFL teams, because I'm trying to speed this up a little bit because I'm about a week behind, because the 1 week that I needed to have somebody on, my dog ran away and I had to go look for my dog. So,
sorry to hear that. I'm glad you got your dog back, though.
Oh, yeah, I did get him back. And then I almost had to cancel the show today because they're still working on my generator, and they had my electricity off. And I said, I hope you guys are planning on having it on at 4 o'clock, because I need
so
it.
If you guys want to see an example of what I've done on my show every day since, we lost to the Rams because I knew we were out of the playoffs.
Right.
Down there next to me in the studio there, it shows one of my draft classes that I did, because I do a mock draft at least once a week, every week, sometimes once a day. Tuesday
before the draft, Smokin, Jim Frazier, and I, and Jeremy, you can join us. I want you to come on here and bring your draft. What 7? They have extra picks or whatever.
Yeah, we have 9 picks.
Yeah, okay. What 9 picks you think they're going to pick? I'll put mine together, and Smokin' Jim, you put yours together, and we'll come on here the Tuesday before the draft and give our mock drafts as to who we think the Steelers could pick. And you, the Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Tampa Bay
Buccaneers. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be a lot of fun comparing to our mock drafts. See what's going on here.
We could actually do a live one.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I know how to do that.
Well, don't forget this too. All right. Well, we could do a live mock draft where we could break down from the first draft pick all the way down to the last in the first round. Which team's going to draft what. We could do that as well on that last show. I was thinking of doing that.
He asked where I think Caleb Downs will go. I think Caleb Downs is either going to end up at either Washington or Kansas City with what they lost. I think he's going to go in the top 10. I don't think he's going to go in the top 5.
I like that. That's a really high tax. Jeremy, okay, there you go. Yeah, Caleb Downs. All right, there we are. All right.
I think he's going to go somewhere between 7 and 9.
Yeah, that could happen. But you know what, though? When you think a team's going to go in one direction, they might go in another. It all depends on what they have on their boards and what's available. You know what I mean? That could be the case. All right, everybody. Thank you for participating today. Thank you, Jeremy, for staying for as long as you did today. I wasn't sure if
I had fun.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I had fun. Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting me.
It's always a fun thing here, Jeremy. So you're welcome anytime on this program. So
just like I say at the end of my shows before I take off, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. Starts right here.
All right, Smokin' Jim, you have any final thoughts or comments for Smokin' Jeremy B?
Jeremy was smoking today, Bubba.
Oh, you know it.
Thank you.
All right, for Smokin' Jim Frazier, Jeremy Ballrick, and myself, I am Ralph Williams. Thank you for participating in the show today. And until next week, have yourself a great one. And by all means, please be safe. Thank you.